that's saving us over $2 million per year. So the money that we save in operating costs is actually going to pay for our investment in the building in a very short time, because they're providing not only the personnel, but they're providing the equipment and the maintenance for it, all of that. So it allowed us to have a state-of-the-art facility that is intergenerational. We will be able to service our youth, our seniors, everybody in between. And it's in a park that we already own, and so we could take advantage of what we already had there. So that it was just a win-win for our citizens. And I was just very proud to make that happen. Even though that had been proposed and they started working on it years before I came, the project was not moving forward. The YMCA thought the project was dead until I was elected, and they came and presented it to me and asked if I would move this project forward. So I allocated from my park grants fund $1 million to move that project forward. And that's exactly why we have that YMCA today to service this area. The previous commissioner for this area chose not to fund the project. So that's why it almost died. That's why I was sitting on the board for a number of years.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move forward.
Did either mayor or councilman receive an email from me about the state of Alabama outlawing Agenda 21?
I read that 3 weeks ago.
Outlawing what? Agenda 21. First state in the union, hopefully.
Arizona too. Arizona's got it all too. Yeah, I read it.
What do you suppose the ramifications are? What does that mean?
It means the people are speaking.
Means that people are what?
Are speaking.
Speaking.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it is. Dr. Waters switch over.
I did.
It was small. It was because they could not supply the staff to run the water department. That's why the city sold it to DeKalb County, not the federal government. Otherwise, we would
No, I just know the rumor. You probably know more about it than I do.
Well, correct it if next time you hear somebody tell you that. No, we gave it to DeKalb County and they bought it from us because we couldn't support the infrastructure of it. The pipes we had to fix, don't forget, right? That tank had to be maintenance every year. Plus they had to have a building department. We didn't have that. We only had Carol Keys and Barbara up there. So you see, they didn't even have to staff.
Well, I mean, how many years had Clarkston as water before that? 30, 50, 100?
It was like they'd get the water bill out whenever. That's what it was like before.
I mean, was it, I mean, that's revenue to some water.
Yeah, but as you know,
I don't know the
revenue wasn't coming in. But they always kept $2 million in the bank. They said they had $2 million and nothing was being done. So it takes money to maintenance that big tank. You see what it costs to tear it down?
I wasn't here.
Just to take the tank down.
I wish we still had water.
I wish we still had the tank too.
At least we have the can.
Yeah.
What?
You got the cap, you got the top. You got the top of the tank.
We're going to make a historical feature for the system. You've never seen it?
Okay.
You'll know it.
It's library.
All right. Any other city concerns anybody got? They want to say anything about it? Yes, sir.
What y'all gonna do with Clarkston's football team, man? When are y'all gonna make it to the dome team?
Which team?
That football team, man.
Dan Lawrence?
Yeah, they used to be real good.
Oh, they're gearing up now because I got a couple letters from their coach this past week. They're getting to gear up now for some big things happening.
Dean, you where's that football behind the blue
I
mask?
haven't had a chance. What I told you before, we're really excited to watch something about this review.
Get the state of Alabama. How long we have the 21? Someone has some sense in that state. There might be some Alabama jokes made about it, but it means it's an issue.
But you don't care? Is that what I'm understanding?
Oh, no, I have looked at the website, and I've come to the assessment in my own opinion, and I disagree with the assessment that the United Nations is trying to take everybody's private property. I disagree with that assessment.
Well, apparently the state of Alabama legislature doesn't, and they might all just be a bunch of deluded dicks, just a bunch of stupid Alabamians.
There's a lot of legislation going on in the country that I disagree with.
Well, you do also know that it has passed the United States House, and it is coming up for vote in the Senate, a 30-year-old treaty with the UN that has been delayed for 30 years, but now it's suddenly moving forward, and it's going to give the UN a great deal of control over all waterways in our country. So, these are things that, we might want to say, what's this about? What's going on? Why is this happening all of a sudden?
I have no idea.
It gives the UN,
I can send you some information about it if you'd like.
yes, it gives the UN what right to what?
To our waterways, to our lakes and rivers and
Like
such.
the Mississippi and all that.
Yeah, Mississippi is a major
Gives them what rights?
thing. It's very unclear at this point, and it's all kind of masquerading as, once again, as environmental measures.
My concern is, that, they're supposed to deal with foreign policy, what are they doing domestic?
Well, what are they doing in domestic?
That's good, that's the question. right?
Now you're asking the right questions.
Yeah.
But in terms of pertinence for Clarkston, is the destruction of your right to do what you want with your property, mine. It's total, I know he goes out just as being quiet. That's total destruction of property rights. Scratch the surface of this thing that you won't want. And it's moving from, once again, one of those things, moving from the realm of conspiracy theory to conspiracy fact.
As long as your property values don't influence the property values of your neighbors, that's the problem. If you got somebody whose property values are lousy and it looks like the devil, it's going to influence the property values of everybody around. We don't want the property values going down, so everybody's got to keep their property in condition.
I was talking about Virginia 21, but you're talking about a different subject.
Yeah, oh, okay. I thought you said something.
I'd like to have the next Clarkston election be on paper ballot at the city hall like it was in the year 2000.
Well, all it takes is you get a petition together and you get it to the people to try to get it on referendum.
That's plausible.
That's the way you do it.
Has to be a referendum.
Has to be, yeah. They got to vote on whether they want to go back to paper ballot.
Are you sure?
It's a home rule.
I mean, I like the concept of referendum.
That's home rule.
I thought after the election in 2009, we were heading in that direction. You had asked for some time from the city council to present a 7-minute presentation on paper ballot, inviting Clark Renner, and you gave me the 7 minutes, but then you...
Did I take it?
No, you decided you were going to present something about the value in France that
Right.
you wanted to celebrate at the same time we celebrated the 9/11, or honor the 9/11 dead, one honor the dead for the battle.
Oh, that. No, that was my 3-minute comment. I was wearing that World War II uniform.
Right.
But that was just citizens' comments. I got 7 minutes to talk about paper ballot and us going back to it. I remember that. I love that.
You sent us an email about it. I assume that Howard would talk
I
to you
remember
about
he gave you that time.
Well, it's not too late. Let's let him have 7 minutes at the next meeting. Talk about paper ballot.
I remember getting Cynthia and Kitty. I called her up. I mean, that was wild. So I called her up and she showed up at a meeting to talk about paper ballot.
I just left her about an hour and a half.
If you just did 7 minutes at the next council meeting, that only leaves 6 minutes for everybody else.
I love that.
The average election costs $3,000. Rita made a point that this ethics investigation, first you cost the city $3,000 with that. I think you should pay for it.
So for $3,500.
Is that board, I'm switching subject, is that board voluntary?
Yes.
What was the $3,500?
Attorney's fees.
Attorney's fee?
Yes,
Whose attorney?
the city's attorney.
Our city attorney got $3,500 for that?
Close to $3,500 for that.
And why weren't we afforded an attorney at $3,500 that the city paid?
You the guys that brought the complaint, I did.
But the city mattered.
It was a frivolous complaint, you guys.
So the entire $3,500 went to our city attorney?
Look, do you think because he was my attorney, that he was going to defend me because you accused me of something?
Do I think what?
Do you think that he was going to be my attorney and defend me against you instead of defending the city? Because that's what he was doing.
He was defending the city against who?
That's his job.
Against who?
Against me, because I'm the defendant. Y'all made me the defendant. You guys were the complainants.
Well, here we have a playing field that suddenly goes this way.
No, it wasn't till
The city has a $3,500 attorney, and we can't even get our witnesses called.
Sunday, the city did not have.
We can't get a delay to
That was your
prepare.
job. That was your job. You the one that put the complaint. It was up to you to be responsible to get anybody you want in there.
And we tried.
When there's a case in court down in DeKalb County, the solicitor doesn't go and get the witnesses for the defense. The defense goes and gets out.
We paid $3,500 to the man who turned to us at the end of that hearing and said, if you wanted her to testify, you should have gone out and found her.
He's right.
What do you mean he's right?
She was your witness.
No, sir. We were told to submit our witness list to the committee,
In court, you
which
would
we
have
did.
Yeah.
And it was up to the committee to call that
No, it
witness.
wasn't.
Yes, it was.
You
Yes, it
submitted
was.
who was going to appear before the committee.
Well-
Not the committee to get your witnesses for you.
You've just given me a direction that I was talking to some people about this afternoon. So
Well,
we'll be
you're the one- you're the one who
looking
cost
into
taxpayers
a whole
$3,000.
ethics committee
But
here.
you have no case.
Okay, we don't have a case, we don't have a case. But we
It's not about
Okay.
you anymore.
No, it's not. It's
It's
about the
about,
ethics committee.
it's about how the hearing is conducted. No one thinks it's about you anymore.
The hearing was conducted the way a hearing should be conducted.
I don't think so.
And I was defended
Keith Barker said, well, we can't locate Shelley Shahar.
because that
How
was
does she
his
get,
job.
how does she get her W-2 form? She's on Facebook.
That's
Star witness.
That's mandated for the city to send her W-2 counsel. We're not mandated to get your witnesses for you.
Well, actually, no, this
So
Tracy,
you have, I'm sorry.
Tracy actually asked us for list of witnesses for the city to try to procure.
No, she asked you for the witnesses because the committee asked for the list that was going to appear before them.
Actually, I think you're correct.
I know I'm right. I don't have to think. I know I'm right.
But it's
I
kind
know
of,
it's
it's
just
kind
a
of,
system.
it's kind of interesting that the city did not
It's not their job.
procure Shelley Shahar.
It's not the city's job.
Okay.
Even if we terminated, like if she was terminated.
We were never
Right.
told that it was up to us to get our witnesses there.
Sonny, it's
It
common
was,
sense that if you.
it was presented to us that you tell us what witnesses you want to call so we can call them.
Has anybody in here ever went to court? All right. When the prosecutor stands up and say, "Where's your witnesses at, Mr. Defense?" What does the defense say? "Here's my witnesses right here." Or, "Mr. Prosecutor, could you go out and get my witnesses for me?" That's what you're asking the city to do. Go out and get your witnesses for
Why
me.
would he get witnesses for a case that y'all are bringing against him? Y'all get your own witnesses.
Because it was.
You know, it's not the
You're supposed to bring a subpoena. You were supposed to subpoena the witness. They only asked that information for informational purposes.
There was no subpoena power. On this entire hearing.
If you have a case, if you're bringing a case, you do have the power to have a subpoena. You have to go down to Decatur to the court, and you get a marshal to issue a subpoena to the person.
And why wasn't that information supplied to us?
Y'all
But
want
then-
to
You have to do your
I don't see this as
diligence.
highly productive.
Because we gotta have somebody.
He wants to know, and I'm going to explain it to him.
You think Emmanuel should have told you all the things y'all needed to do to get to prosecute him? He should have told you, you should have got witnesses.
I think the manual should have allowed the complainants to question him.
You don't want to file a complaint. Why should he go
The
help you?
McDonald's wasn't there. I listened to
In the
McDonald's.
case against him.
We had 2 weeks to prepare.
Well, why did you prepare?
And why weren't we given the rules?
Citing the whole thing.
Who's going to give you the rules? You're the one started the
Well,
case,
you
get your
know,
own rules.
let's not talk about this right now, because there'll be more talk
Yes, ma'am.
about it later.
Okay, I have a concern about the, that red flashing light on Norman Road.
Yes, ma'am.
I've been here for about 13 years, and when we had the actual red stoplight, when the people came over the hill, that was dangerous. But this flashing red light along with that flashing yellow light is gonna cause a very, very hazardous condition